Hello and welcome to the third part of making the exploring game in Click Team Fusion 2.5. We've got the walls, we've got the enemies, we're going to add some doors in now and some collection. So let's start at collecting some stuff. So carrying on from where we left before, I'm going to make a little room. So I'm going to use my vertical walls. And my vertical walls, let's turn the grid back on, snap to grid. My vertical walls are just not long enough, are they? Are they? No. I'm going to click once again just to stretch them a tiny bit to make them long enough. And when I change one, it'll change them all. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to make a little room, which is tidier now, and fill it with some lovely gold coins. So, coins will need to be an active object. Insert a new object. Active. Okay, click to drop it down, and double click. Let's make a lovely gold coin. The white page clears it, the circle filled in. Oh, let's have a rim on it as well. Right click for a secondary colour. There we go. And let's give the coin a value. Oh, left click for my colour. There we go. Worth a whole 10 coin, whatever that is. Okay, I won't spend too long on that. Name it F2 coin. And I'll hold down control and I'll make multiple copies of it. Oh, look at all this money, money, money. Great. Nothing's going to happen when I touch it. I'll stretch this wall to make it actually fit. Nothing's going to happen when I touch it. There are no conditions or events or actions. There we go. So let's sort that out. So a new rule, a new condition, that when I collide with another object, coin, the coin gets destroyed. And if you don't do that, you'll end up being able to get a lot of money. Score, it's under the player object. Right click, score, add to score. 10 makes sense, seeing as that's what's written on them. Now, that will happen, but we won't see it. Remember with the lives, these lives show our lives, but they're not our lives. We need a score. And just to make things easier, I will put the lives on this side and I will insert a score object so I can see my score. There it is. And the score object grows to the left, so I will put it in the right corner. Oh, snapping to grid doesn't work. I'm using cursor keys to get closer precision. There we go. Now if I run my application, cursor keys being the arrow keys. There we go. 100 points. Lovely. Now that was a bit easy to collect. I could have coins of different value. I could do something quite clever and put the coins in their own group. So I could have a group. Let's do this quickly. It's a little bit more advanced. Put them in the bonus group. Makes sense. And I'm going to give their ultimate value a new named one. And it will be called worth. And so these coins are worth 10. And I will then clone it so that I can got coin 2, and coin 2 I will quickly fudge. Oh, that looks ugly. Let's keep let's change the tolerance down a bit. I will make it 5. There we go. And its worth is 5. Because I cloned it, it kept the alterable values, so they're worth 5. So I can then change my condition. No, not change the condition, change the action. Not add 10 to score. Right click, delete that. Score, add to score. I will get the bonuses, values, their worth. And I will need to change the condition, because now if you collide with anything that's a bonus, you need to, and I need to move this, drag it along to the bonus. So now I've changed the rule. Player collides with bonus. The bonus gets destroyed, whatever it is, and then you add the worth to the score. Now if I run the frame now, it means I can get 5 points here, and then ding, 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 105. Great. It's a bit easy to get all those coins, so I'm going to put a door there. Now a door can't just be a backdrop object easily. Backdrop objects can have bits taken out of them, chunks destroyed out of them, but they don't have the same ability as active objects. So I double clicked to save time that time to get my active objects. Click to put it down. Oh, and a word of advice: if you keep on grabbing hold of your quick backdrop, you can right click and lock it, and then you can't select it unless you hold Shift, Control and click, it unlocks it. I'll lock it so that I don't move it or pull it anywhere. This can be our door, and I'll make the door there. Just make it dark colour. Name it to door. Right, now I'm going to put this in a group to save myself time for later on. So I'm going to say that this is an obstacle, which is not in alphabetical order, but is a red square somewhere. That's breakable. Obstacle. Because it makes sense to call it an obstacle. And now I need to define how the obstacles behave. New condition. If the player collides with another object that is an obstacle, then I want them to stop, and I'll just pull down this. I'm also going to pull the number 11 up to the number 3 to put it in that place so that all these rules are together. It makes it easier to find things. I'm also going to say that if any of the bad guys, any of the enemies collision with another object, an obstacle, that they bounce so that he's not flying through the door, which he would do. I'm just going to move it up here. So collision between lightning and obstacle, bounce, just so that it's tidy. Now if I run my application, I've got my door. Can't get in. Let's give myself a key. And there's a couple of ways we can do this. I'll show you the easy way first. So double click, add an active object, because it's going to be able to be destroyed and collected. Draw myself a lovely key. Give it a name, F2, key. So I could just say a new condition that when the player collides with another object, key, then destroy the door. And that'll work. And that's, so there's the door shut. We'll see it. There we go. It got destroyed. I also need to destroy the key as well. So you could use that as a button to activate the door, but because it's a key, I want you to pick it up. So pick it up. That's destroyed. We can go in and get the money. But let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's have it so that we collect the key and go to the door. Now, there's multiple ways of doing this. I will show you a way that hopefully teaches you something new. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some alterable values to the player. I could add flags. In the later versions of Clicked Fusion, you can name your flags, and you could use flags to say if something's on or off. At the moment, I don't know why I haven't got the latest version, but I haven't. So I'm going to use my alterable values for the moment. And so I'm going to change alterable value A to got gold key. So when you collide with the key, destroy the key. Don't destroy the door yet. Let's change my alterable values here. So right click on the player, alterable values. I'm going to set gold key to 1. I'm only going to do that to treat it like a flag. If you were using flags and named them, you could set a flag on for the got key. Right, new condition. If you collide with this door, and let's call it the gold key door, or the door, as they do in Orc. Right, okay, if you collide with the door, right click, insert, click on the words and right click and insert, and you have the key. So your alterable values or your flag, if you used it, if got gold key is 1. So if both those happen, then destroy the door. And we get a nicer effect of getting the gold key and then breaking the door down. And that works well. And we could also, at that point, subtract. We could subtract 1 from the keys if we wanted to be smart about it. So alterable values, subtract from got gold key 1. We could also do it just if this is equal or greater or equal. And then at this point, for those who have already guessed it or haven't guessed it even, you could have multiple keys, multiple doors. So let's put in 3 doors, 3 keys. So I can't open that one. I take this key, I can open any of the doors, but now I can't open any others. And that's because my counter's going down for the amount of keys. There we go. There's some keys and some doors. You could have it that every time you hit a door, you add to its alterable value to break it down, and do it like that. So maybe you could have an alterable value of the door of damage, Oh, let's try that again. Damage. It's a good idea to color code your doors, so let's put a goldy coloured lock on it so that you know it's for the gold key. You could have damage on the door, and you could say that every time you hit that door, so collides with the door, you could right click Ultra values, add to the damage 1, then a new condition, Ultra values. If the damage is greater or equal, you could just use equal, but greater or equal to 5, you hit the door 5 times, then destroy the door. So saves you time getting the key, or you can just that was quite quick. Was that? It's because I hit it with the corner. I was sliding down it. There we go. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So set that something like 100 would be fairer. There we go. That's looking at collection and doors. Let's make sure you save your game, and I'll see you next session.